Honorable Men Discord. Is the United States being a bully, or are we being proactive? Let's talk about it.
How you see yourself is how you perceived. I see a man strong, gifted, head strapping, never down on his knees, begging. Gotta make a way, even in my darkest hour. Say the odds against me was new, I would never cower.
As always, welcome back to another episode. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and if you have something you'd like to share, I'll see you in the comment section. So let's get straight to the news report. Apparently, President Trump gave the green light for more vessels, military vessels, to head out to the coast of Venezuela to show military presence in this fight against illegal drug distribution. So let's watch this news clip, and then we're going to talk about it further.
The United States is expanding its military presence in the Caribbean as the White House weighs possible action inside Venezuela. The Trump administration says the buildup is part of its war on drugs. Yesterday, the U.S. military confirmed it carried out its 20th strike on an alleged drug boat in the Caribbean Sea. U.S. forces killed 4 people in the targeted attack, which happened on Monday. The U.S. is also ramping up its military might in Puerto Rico. CBS News senior national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata is there.
New Pentagon images show a B-52 long-range bomber flying over the USS Gerald R. Ford as it steams toward the Caribbean, a provocative display of the American military power that is now being staged against Venezuela. The Ford and the warships sailing with it will be bolstered by F-35 stealth fighter jets already operating in the area. Those F-35s are being flown out of this airfield in Puerto Rico. It's a base the Navy shut down more than 20 years ago, but it is back and operational as the United States builds up forces ahead of a possible military action against Venezuela. The military presence is drawing notice from locals like Damian Leon.
I feel tense, kind of anxious, not knowing what's going to happen, maybe an attack of someone close.
The Roosevelt Roads base is one of 5 locations where U.S. forces are now operating on an American territory strategically positioned north of Venezuela. Samuel Rivera Baez is the mayor of the town located just next to the base. The F-35s wake us up in the morning, he told us. But is there a concern that if the United States engages in Venezuela, that Puerto Rico might become a target? Right now, the United States is the most powerful in the world, he told us. Having them here, taking care of us, we feel more than safe. As the U.S. conducts live-fire exercises in the region, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, whom the U.S. wants to remove from power for alleged cartel ties, spoke out against what he called threats of an invasion. Raise your hand if you want Venezuela to become a Yankee colony, he said. For CBS Saturday Morning, Charlie D'Agata, Ceiba, Puerto Rico.
So that was a news report about the additional vessels that were sent to Venezuela. And my issue with this is that they haven't detained anyone. All right. It's just been bombing speedboats that are allegedly speedboats controlled and operated by cartel members. And there's no proof of that. So as of today, as of this recording, they said about 20 boats containing illegal substances have been basically blown out of the water. And I just feel the way the United States is operating is a little bit inhumane, because all we're giving as citizens of the United States is the information that the news is reporting, and the news doesn't have much information. So we really have nothing in terms of hardcore information proving that these vessels, these speedboats, I should say, not, were blown out of the water. We don't have much information about the people that were inside of these speedboats. All right, so we're just going off of what the news is saying. And there's no proof that there were innocent lives killed, in addition to the so-called drug distributors, drug dealers. And I have an issue with that. And by no means am I saying that I'm against the war on drugs. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is, usually when these things are done, people are captured, people are tried, and then and so on and so forth. We get to learn about the people that were inside the boats, you know, which cartels they're attached to, who ordered them to make the runs, the drug runs, things of that nature. We have no background on any other individuals that were in these boats. We don't have any information on it. And I don't know how anyone could watch this and not question the president's decision to do this. And again, I'm not condoning these shipments, these illegal shipments of drugs. I'm not condoning it coming into the country. I'm just saying the way we're going about stopping it is a little inhumane, and it's not the right way of going about doing it. Now, ironically and coincidentally, when I was on vacation in Trinidad, I met an individual who told me one of the people that were blown out of the water was his cousin, and his family is hoping that maybe his cousin survived and that the U.S. has him somewhere detained, and they're basically being hopeful. Now, when he disclosed this to me, I'll be honest with you, it was almost embarrassing, because for the first time in my life, I felt embarrassed by the actions of our country while being in another country and not having any words to say to someone about the actions of the country that I live in, my country, United States. So he's telling me this, and I felt bad because I'm well aware of what's going on at the coast of Venezuela, and I don't have any words for it. Outside of my condolences, I didn't have any words for him as far as the actions of the United States military under President Trump, because President Trump is the one who again gave the green light for this operation. And another thing I have to note is he disclosed that his cousin was a fisherman, and prior to me leaving to go to Trinidad, my cousin had sent me some articles about the fact that fishermen in Trinidad were worried about being blown out of the water by the United States. And I brushed it off because I looked at it like, no, I think I gave the United States a lot of credit. I said, you know what? We have a lot of technology. I'm sure these operations, they could zoom in and they can see, they'll know the difference between fishermen and just regular boats. But I was wrong, because evidently, based on this gentleman that I met in Trinidad, he said he lost his cousin to one of the bombings, or he thinks he may have lost his cousin, and his cousin's a fisherman. Now, unless his cousin is a fisherman and maybe he was involved in something else, I don't know. I can't speculate. I can't assume. But based on what he told me, that would mean that not everyone that was involved or assassinated by the United States were part of some cartel. It's possible that some of them are fishermen, and that's why we're not getting any information on them on the boats, because it's embarrassing for the United States. It's embarrassing for President Trump to disclose the fact that some of these boats that were blown out of the water weren't all cartel associated. And that's a scary thing to stomach, to know that we have young men and women in the military taking part on an operation that was greenlit by the president, and they maybe potentially killing innocent people. We don't know that for a fact. So, and on top of that, the entire country is not in agreement with this operation. But that doesn't matter. And this is what goes back to some of the stuff I mentioned on older episodes. This is the way this country is ran, the way this world is ran. It's big fish, little fish. Those that are in power, those that have the money, they ultimately dictate how things play out for the rest of us. And the rest of us meaning if you're not in power and you're not extremely wealthy. I know you'd like to think you have a say because you vote, but I believe it's smoke and mirrors. But I'm not here to get into politics, but you're seeing it play out. The majority of the country, I don't believe, agree with this whole invasion of the coast of Venezuela. And I'm calling it an invasion because I don't even know if it's legal that we do this. But no one's speaking against it because no one wants to speak against it and get the spotlight on them. Clearly, the military won't speak against it publicly because they're not going to go against the president's demands. And I understand why they wouldn't. But none of this is making any sense for the everyday people, including myself. It's not making any sense. There's no clarity involved at all. You know, I understand that the U.S. does not want the drugs to come into the country. I completely understand that. My issue is the way that it's being done. That's the only issue that I have, the way that it's being done, the lack of clarity. No one's captured. We don't see faces of these alleged criminals. We don't know anything about them. All we see on the news is the video, which is not even clear because it looks like nighttime. It looks like they're using infrared or something like that, and we're watching boats blow up. And that's it. They just show 1 minute you see a boat speeding, and next minute you see a bomb hit it and it blows up. That's all we're shown. But again, by chance, when I went to Trinidad, I actually met someone who spoke on the fact that his family may have lost his cousin in one of those boats that were exploded, that were attacked. And the whole reason why I went with the whole bully theme is that would President Trump have done something like this to a country that has the same capabilities that we have? Would he? And I say no. I say no, he wouldn't, because then for every action there's a reaction. The reason why he's doing what he's doing at the coast of Venezuela is because he knows they're limited on their military equipment. They're not even close to what we have. All right, it shows that Venezuela has some soldiers, foot soldiers, and I guess other countrymen preparing for any type of a U.S. attack, but realistically, they don't stand a chance. And for that reason, I call it bullying. If you disagree with me, I'll see you in the comments. It's a form of bullying. And again, this episode is not to speak on the fact that we're trying to stop the drugs from coming into this country. I'm not against that. I'm not against stopping the drugs, illegal drugs coming into this country. I'm against and I'm questioning the way we're going about doing this. And that's what this is about. What's your thoughts on this? As always, I appreciate everyone tuning in. If you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And I'll see you on the next episode. Stay honorable.